everybody, so we've got a fun one today because we're talking about The Northman. Right from the very beginning when this film was announced, my interest levels was piqued because I love Robert Eggers so much as a director, and the fact that you're going to have this Viking tale, this epic Viking story, which, I mean, sounds amazing. I love a good Viking tale. With someone like Robert Eggers behind the camera, I knew it was going to be something special. Despite the overall story of The Northman being a tale you've heard time and time again over the years, a man on a journey to get revenge for his father's murder, as the story is based around the Scandinavian legend that inspired Hamlet, it's still unbelievable how The Northman is able to take that story that we all know and love and kind of craft it in a way that is very fresh and unique with the scope and scale used in this. Right from the very beginning, The Northman hooks you in with this dark, brutal vision that Robert Eggers puts on display, and it never relents as we follow Alexander Skarsgård's character on his path to revenge. It's an absolutely relentless, vicious tale, but I'd be lying here if I didn't say I was absolutely captivated by everything that I was watching unfold throughout the story. Part of that I do think is thanks to Robert Eggers' fantastic direction, because this is only his third feature film, and I've loved everything he's done so far, whether it be The Witch or The Lighthouse. Both of those films are very visually striking, and I think because of this film having such a higher budget, it's probably his best visual work to date. There are conflicting reports right now what the budget is for The Northman. Some say 60 million, some say 90 million, but either way, that is a massive step up from the budgets he had for The Witch and The Lighthouse, which was $4 million and $11 million. With a big budget like that in the hands of Robert Eggers, you can see that with the direction and cinematography on display in this film, because it's breathtaking. The locations throughout the film, they're gorgeous, and there are so many sequences that lingered with me long after watching because of just how beautiful the cinematography is. There are some really great shots here that you've probably seen some of in the trailers that they're just breathtaking. This is like an early cinematography favorite for me personally. I feel like it'd be one of those snubs, kind of like The Green Knight was last year when it comes to award season, but this is some great cinematography, some great visuals. Same goes for all the action in The Northman as well, because the only way I could really describe it in one word, it's epic. The way that these battles are staged with Alexander Skarsgård having these brutal, long battles, it's nothing short of amazing, especially with the way that they're staged in these long, elaborate one-takes. I mean, there's literally an action sequence in the film where two men are fighting naked at the heart of an active volcano. I don't think you could get any more heavy metal than that. That's about as awesome as you could expect from a movie like this, and bless Robert Eggers for making it actually come alive on the big screen, because that was not something I knew I needed, but it was about as badass as you think it is when you see some of the visuals in the trailers. What really helps this film a lot is the epic cast that was assembled here. Some of these people we've seen before in Robert Eggers' previous films, like Anya Taylor-Joy, Willem Dafoe, all that, but there are some new players along the cast as well. All of them are fantastic, though. Anya Taylor-Joy always delivers in these kind of performances, and I think she's great once again here. Out of the supporting players, I found myself connecting the most probably with Nicole Kidman's character out of this bunch of characters, but there are some other supporting characters in smaller roles that I also feel like they were kind of scene stealers. Willem Dafoe is always going to be a scene stealer no matter how much screen time he adds, and he once again is amazing in this character. And also Bjork. Bjork is in this film. She's not in a lot of films, but with her role in this, it kind of makes me wish she was in more films because she kind of just shows up here and there, like one film every decade or so at this point. Same goes for Klaus Bang. I hope I'm pronouncing his name correctly because his name always kicks my ass. If you want to correct me in the comment section, feel free to do so. But he's great. He's a fantastic villainous character, but the main scene stealer, the star of the show here, the best performance, definitely by far, is Alexander Skarsgård. Out of all the performances I've seen of Alexander Skarsgård's career up to this point, I think this is probably his best one to date. He's a beast, almost literally, pretty much. He is absolutely jacked for this role. He goes absolutely insane in certain sections of the film, and you do truly feel the rage his character feels as his quest of revenge unfolds, and I found him to be a very compelling character by the end of the film. Now, I'm definitely not an expert when it comes to Norse mythology or the legend that revolve around Vikings, but I do know that Eggers loves to pay attention to all the little details. We've seen that a lot in The Witch and The Lighthouse, and I feel like that they've done that once again here with The Northman when it comes to maintaining historical accuracy. And I do think that does help you immerse yourself in the world with these characters, but it does have me worried about mainstream audience goers. That is one thing that I do kind of have some concerns about when it comes to everyone else going to see the film, because there's definitely a niche group here that like Robert Eggers films, because this actually isn't an A24 film, it's actually Focus Features, which is Universal, so it's a mainstream film. However, I'm not entirely sure if this does have that big mainstream appeal, especially with the budget attached to it. I'm glad that this film got made at that price point, because you don't don't really see that nowadays, but I have kind of troubles thinking that mainstream audiences are going to connect with a Viking revenge drama that's very historically accurate, and it is a little bit slow because the pacing in the second act, especially towards the end of the second act, it's definitely kind of a slow burn, and like I said before, you've seen this kind of film before. It's a revenge story. We've seen that kind of setup time and time again over the years, so I worry about that, which is not really a concern to me personally, but for the long-term success of the Northman. The trailers have piqued your interest at all. I definitely think you're going to enjoy the film to some degree, but otherwise, I'm not really sure. I do think if you like these kind of films, these big Viking epics, it's absolutely a must-see. For the visual spectacle and the performances alone, I think it's worth price of admission, but I'm just worried about mainstream audience goers for a film like this, especially with that big budget attached to it, because I want this film to do well, and I want Robert Eggers to continue to get bigger and bigger budgets, especially with big mainstream studios, but you never really know. But make sure you share your thoughts down below. What do you think of the film when you get a chance to check out the film? Do you like the Northman, not like the Northman? Either way, make sure you share your thoughts down below, because part of the fun is having a conversation with you guys in the comments section. Thank you as always for checking out the videos. Make sure to like on the video. Also subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, so maybe restrictions, unboxings, and more. For the next time, I'll see you guys later.